This is what $600 in bait casters can look like. Or this is what $600 in bait casters can look like. And that is because these are both $300 bait casters, one by Kastking known as the iReel, and the other by Shimano known as the Xsense DC. Two awesome bait casters that I'm lucky enough to have, but I figured let's go ahead and put them in a head-to-head challenge today to see which one of them is better. So that way if you're in the market to pick up a $300 reel, you might know which one you want. So let's take a closer look at these things, learn a little bit more about them, and then we'll get out there on the water and test them out.
The Shimano DC has a low-profile design with a matte black finish, giving it a high-end premium feel. The craftsmanship is always amazing from Shimano. They design with the angler in mind. But it's not just about the looks. Let's talk about the technology under this hood. The Shimano Xsense DC was designed for saltwater anglers, utilizing Shimano's hanger aluminum reel housing, their stainless steel bearings and hardware, a clicking drag system with up to 11 pounds of drag, and one of their more unique standout features, the DC or digitally controlled braking system, which offers a precise control over your cast. This technology minimizes backlashes and maximizes casting distance, making it a favorite among anglers. But the Kastking iReel has some really unique features of its own. Now the first thing you may notice is the Kastking iReel comes in a slightly larger and more rugged design. The iReel is equipped with a high-end quality drag system which utilizes its centrifugal braking system for precision control during casts. While it may not have the same digitally controlled sophistication that the Shimano DC has, it still offers that same reliable performance. On top of that, it has a very similar aluminum housing, same stainless steel bearings and hardware, a very similar clicking drag system, and it can hold up to 15 pounds of drag. On top of that, it has an adjustable eye for casting and retrieving, and a state-of-the-art app that provides cool information like how much line's left on your reel, the casting distance, and the speeds your lure is traveling at. So as you guys can see, the Shimano DC and Kastking iReel do not only look good, but they also pack a punch in terms of technology. So let's head out there in the water and see how they do in the head-to-head challenge. Now when it comes to testing these reels, it can be very subjective. So I figured I'd try to make this as accurate as possible. I'll be testing the reels in 3 different categories. 1, a casting distance test, 2, a skipping test, and 3, a drag test. Now both reels will have a newly spooled 15-pound line and will be on a medium-heavy 7.2 rod. And I'll be using a 4-inch paddle tail as the test bait for both. First up is the cast test. So let's go ahead and let's test out the iReel first, and then we'll pick up the Shimano. First thing we're gonna do, just a simple cast test. I'm gonna adjust and dial in real quick. You hear that clicking spool. There we go. That should be ideal. Braking system is on 9. That's pretty good for the iReel. It's got a lot of brakes. I believe it's got like 15 total different notches you can put it on. So here we go. First cast. Woo, whipping it out there, dude. Really good. No backlash. And look how much line I actually cast out there off that single spool. I can actually see the under spool right there. That is pretty solid. Let's do one more little basic cast. Man, that goes really, really far with this setup. That is really good. I'm gonna leave it out there a little bit and see if we can catch a fish. Now you will see that the fit of this reel is a little bit bigger in my palm than the Xsense DC. I'll pick that up and do the cast test next, just to show you guys the overall difference. As you can see, it's a little bit bigger, a little bit bulkier, but you know, that means that you can use this on heavier duty stuff, more like your swim baits, your glide baits, you know, your top water action, punching, flipping when you're trying to get through that grass and stuff like that. So there's just a straight cast right there. Hopefully that gives you a good idea of how this thing can cast. It's pretty smooth, pretty simple, no backlashing. So let's grab the DC Xsense right here. So one thing you're going to notice real quick is the noise that this thing makes, but other than that, it's going to be pretty identical to the Kastking, other than the braking mechanism only has 3 features besides the fluoroline one and then the open spool. First cast. Look at that, no backlash at all on this thing. You can open up that spool a little bit, and I will say DCs will give you backlash. It's not immune to backlashing, but it definitely makes it a lot smoother, a lot easier. But you guys saw the Kastking, we didn't have any backlash, any sort of issue too. I feel like the Kastking might have gotten a little bit further too. So I'm gonna open up the brakes, open up the spool. There we go. Let's just try to whip it out there. There we go. Lack of thumb, and it didn't backlash on it. That's what you want. Nice, good cast. I feel like the Kastking went just a tad bit further, but There we go. The Xens DC is really meant more for your lighter weight stuff. Last test. We're gonna do no thumb, a little bit of backspin. And just to show you guys as a comparison for the Kastking, I'm gonna do a no thumb cast, dial it in real quick, and just show you where that ends up. So I'm trying to show you guys exactly how I would use these reels, how people normally use these reels, stuff like that. So let's get this thing dialed in. Try to do a no thumb cast. That's probably not gonna be it, but we're gonna leave it. Oh man, that was actually pretty good. No thumb, really far distance, and I barely dialed it in. So it's actually really dialed in right now. Drag is dialed in too. One thing I will say is I do enjoy the clicking drag in both of these reels. The Shimano definitely has a louder clicking drag, but I like this one has like that internal clicker that lets me know when the fish is taking line. It's definitely nice to have. So, all right, that gives you a good idea of, just a straight cast. I want to show you guys some skipping and flipping casts. So we got some trees over here. I'm going to try to skip into those areas or flip into those areas and just kind of show you guys, the difference between these two reels. So let's get to it real quick. We started out with the I reel last time. Let's go ahead and start out with the Shimano this time. And I got tangled up already again. Now, usually when I skip, I like my spool to be a little bit tighter because you will get a lot of backlash. Even with the DC, you'll get a ton of backlash. I'm just gonna show you guys. I'm gonna try to use the rod to skip this one. Oh, that was a beautiful skip if I've ever seen one. I didn't even know I could skip that pretty. Beautiful skipping with that Shimano DC Xens. That was not even a skip. I don't know what that was. That was just me kind of tossing it in there. So that was an awesome skip, man. I'm surprising myself right now. So let's try that again. One skip. Let's try another skip. Woo! Dude! Did you guys just see that? That is something. I don't know where I learned that, but apparently I know how to skip. Has a lot to do with the setup though too. This is a really good setup, really good rod for this skipping. It fits really good on your base, and it's just long enough to kind of get around the trees and stuff like that. I'm gonna try to get a little bit closer with this next skip. That was more of like a flip, but that's what we want to check too. Is backhand flipping is another thing you want to do. Pitching is not ideal in this spot. One more skip. There we go. That is a good skip right there, guys. That is what we want. Nice dialed in. Our brake's not overspinning. Our brake's at 3 and our spool's halfway open. So good skip test on this. Let's test up the Kastking I reel and see how it does skipping. Now I will say this is the AMB version of the I reel. I forget to keep saying that, but this is the AMB. So it is a little bit more used to throwing lighter tackle and stuff like that. And here we go, kind of the same thing, not as good with the trajectory. Let's see if I can get a good skip. Like I said, I'm not the best skipper, so there we go, a good little skip. We got a little bit of backlash that time, but that is probably my fault. I probably need to adjust the braking system. Let's go and walk this backlash out and see if we can get this adjusted properly. Try to put the brake. Your brake needs to be pretty maxed out when you're skipping, to be honest, guys. So that was a lot better adjustment. Now we can actually try to skip it. Got this thing dialed in. Here we go. Oh my goodness, I didn't even know I could skip that good. This thing skipped better than the Shimano. That, I'm not even lying, that surprised me because I was already surprised with the Shimano DC, but like, look at that, dude. That is money. That is beautiful skipping. Let's try to get a little bit tighter on this one. Oh my god, why is this one so much better at skipping for me? It might be the size of the reel. It just feels a little bit better in my hand compared to that smaller one. It's not really as solid to hold with my thumb and like flip. Maybe that's it, I'm not sure exactly, but there you go. That time I didn't get the good skip. So maybe I was just dialed in. Maybe all these skips have just dialed me in, but this is pretty awesome, man. Skipping, so far, they can both handle the skip test almost identical. I feel like, to be honest, the Kastking is doing a little bit better for me at the moment. Could just be because I'm dialed in. Let's pick up the Shimano again and give it one more test. Here we go, Shimano skip again. I might need to up the brake on this one a little bit. It's on 3 brake, that's as max as the brake goes. So maybe the spool needs to be closed just a tad bit. Yeah, let's close the spool a tad bit more. Pretty good little skip, man. Let's try one more time.
Ooh, there we go. That was a beautiful skip right there. All right, yeah, these can both skip almost identical, as you guys can see right there. All right, guys, as you can see, we got ourselves our little bucket right here. We got 3-pound weights. There's already one 3-pounder in there. We're gonna go ahead and test out the drag by just seeing how far we can move this bucket and how hard it is to move the bucket, and then we'll add another weight and kind of go back and forth and just see how each one handles it. So let's try it out. All right, best way to test the drag. Let's do it. I'm afraid I'm gonna break my rod, but it's doing it. There we go. All right, here we go. Oh man, that's max drag. It's not pulling it. Okay, well, I guess this was a better test than I thought. That's max drag. It's not even, oh, there we go. I have to use the rod more. Oh, I don't like this, but it's working. The weight fell out, but it's still on. Oh my God. Definitely a lot harder to pull in something heavy with the Shimano Xsense DC. A lot harder. That was a lot more work.
So there you have it, guys. Our tests are officially over, and I'll have to say I'm at a standstill as far as which reel is best. The question is really up to you. Which one of these reels would you prefer? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe button. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you all in the next one.